Hey guys. Second victory for today, day 714. I never did take a nap, so I'm still pretty tired. I still hope to tell you about this. Um, Turned out my wait earlier it was over an hour before I got a nurse in here. I had agreed to move floors last night because the floor I was on was able to serve another patient that needed a certain medication, and the floor that they had room on is not allowed to give that medication. So I agreed to be moved. It's a mitzvah. It's an opportunity to help somebody else who needs it. So I thought if I was in that patient's position, I would want somebody to give up their space um, so that they can get the care that they need. And I'm getting such great care here that I definitely wanted to be able to help somehow. So I was in complete agreement with being moved. But unfortunately, there's been a couple of little mishaps, and that was one of them. Apparently, the call from my room was not reaching the nurse's phone like it was supposed to. So that's been corrected now. She had no idea that I was in need, and it was just a fluke. So I actually she was very apologetic, and I have to say I really like the care that I'm getting at the hospital. Everybody is bedside manner has been pretty much overall great. I've had one problem with one doctor who I just don't interact with too often. So I would say I have an issue with. But everybody else, nurses, staff, people who deliver food, the people that take out the trash, all the other doctors have been amazing. So I'm really happy with the care that I'm getting here. And that was just a sorry. Um, so what do I need to update? I don't think I ever really got around to saying why I decided to start doing these. I know I've got a lot of people asking about me, and it's so easy to play that game telephone where one person tells another person who tells another person who tells another person, and before you know it, it's she's dying because of an infection that she got because she had a cold and she took some weird medication or something. It has nothing to do at all with whatever is actually going on with me. So, horse's mouth, horse's mouth. This is where you get the information about what's going on to me. Uh, my even my family, with the exception of my brother, is basically getting information this way because my memory is so bad and it's been so hard to talk because of the cold. Um, and it's whirlwind. There's just been so much happening. It's hard to make sure everybody's updated. And there's so many people to update. That's difficult. So here's where the horse's mouth is. Here's where you find information to find out if I'm doing better, if there's been any results, and stuff like that. So um, share the link for my blog for my channel so that people can find out what's going on with me if they're asking. Pretty please. Um, so my cold is on the for that bell curve of the for climaxing to like I feel like death warmed over to is finally starting to come up and you start feeling better. I'm now over that curve and starting to feel better. I just have residual stuff like the headache from the sinuses and the drainage, and I'm coughing stuff up, but I don't feel just like like that first video I did was probably the worst day of the cold. I think there was 2 days of the cold that were really bad. That was probably the worst day of the cold or the one right next to it. And I was just like, everything in my life feels wrong. And, it's just emotionally, physically, everything drained. And the cold was not helping and just exacerbated everything. So now that the cold is tapering off, my regular me is coming back out. So um, for those of you that are new to my channel, I am bedridden. I have been for a year and a half. I was diagnosed with Lyme disease 2 years ago. We chose not to go um, the antibiotic route. We went through our alternative therapy, which worked really well for the time being that we did it. Unfortunately, we weren't consistent and couldn't be consistent because of other life circumstances. So I believe strongly in being venom therapy if you have Lyme disease. Uh, it worked amazingly well for me for getting rid of the severe pain that I was in that I just was just unimaginable. So I still am a big believer in bee venom therapy, um, and I think it had a huge um, help in getting me past some of the worst part of Lyme. Um, now I'm in the hospital due to severe weight loss. I used to be 280 pounds when the Lyme began, and I am now down. Last weight check-in, which was a few days ago, was 130 pounds. And I think a lot of that might have been fluid actually because they were running an IV. Um, so I've lost a great deal of weight and hadn't tried. It was just, and I'm at risk of continuing to lose weight if we don't figure out what's wrong with me. So it may be Lyme related, it may not. As I indicated in the last video, it seems that I'm beginning to think that this may be more genetic related, and we just won't know until there's more testing done. Um, we do know that there is a slight issue with my bone marrow, that there is extra protein in it, and that there's more cells in my protein or in my bone marrow than there should be, which means that basically instead of having, if you're looking at the bone marrow to find out how old I am, should indicate that I'm around 40. But instead it more or less indicates that I'm around 60. So we don't know why that is happening. And we don't know why I'm having the issues with the liver and spleen that I am, and why there's leakage. And so there's just a lot going on with my body. And the doctors are working very diligently at trying to figure out what's going on, doing a ton of testing, not just blood work, but just like ultrasounds and MRI and CT, and basically trying to make sure that I don't die. I am fighting for my life because obviously, if I continue to lose weight, that's going to cause my demise. So that's not good. Um, and since we don't know what's in, part of it might just be from just not eating too much anymore. But then part of it might actually be that there's an actual issue. So we just don't know. And that's why I'm here. So far, how long have I been in the hospital? I spent a week, 6 days, I think, technically, at the hospital that was near us before they transferred me to Chicago. And now I've been here since Wednesday. So I'm not going to do the math. I know it's simple math. My head hurts. And so you figure that out, however many days that is. Today is the 16th, and it's Sunday. So, anyway, I think that pretty much wraps up what's going on with me. Been bedridden for a year and a half. I have no muscle. I'm basically a string puppet. If you were to see me at my feet, just collapse. I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Talk to you later.